Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Pursuit of Stability and Peace. I'm Nix. Can you believe it's already the end of May? I know most people still have like a week left, but technically for me, this is it. If you hear background noise, please don't be too harsh. Kids are kids. Let them be kids. So I realized that I am getting paid soon and I need to do my budget for the next month. And I haven't even looked at that as yet. So this is what we're going to do today. I have had such a week. Oh my goodness, I even realized that I need to stop saying that because I'm technically keeping myself stuck in this loop and still finding excuses. But I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you guys are actually finding some progress within what you are individually in what you are individually pursuing. I really hope for the best, and even if you think that you're failing at something, just a word of advice: any kind of progress is progress. We need to pay attention to the negatives in our lives because they help us learn, but we can't obsess over them. So one of the things that you need to do is give more importance to the good things and not ignore the bad things, but make sure that you celebrate the small wins. And by saying that, any kind of progress is progress and it's a good thing. Okay. If I can do it after so many years of being indoctrinated into a certain way of thinking, changing is hard. So we still have to make the effort though, right? We can't just say, oh, woe is me. I was handed this when I was a kid. I can't deal with any more stuff. So we shall see. Okay. Without further ado, let's get into this. So my June budget covers the 23rd of May to the 23rd of June. I have not done my closeout as yet, but I decided to do that along with my weekly expenses for my Monday check-in to be able to see how my entire week went. Let's go find a pen. Okay. So in the meantime, I'm going to take another color. Maybe let's see if this is writing. Yay. Okay. So my categories so far are not going to change. I've decided I'm not going to include my expected income. And I realize that's a bit stupid at the moment because I've done it for the last two videos, but I expect to get an extra little something every month. And while I am a rule follower and everything, I realize that my family might find this at some point, and I don't want them to know exactly how much I earn, because as a rule, if you find that you have family members that plan for your money, if you have to tell them how much you earn, always give them 20% less than your take home. That's the amount that you give them. Because if you're not a person that has built your strength and built your boundaries and can maintain that, you are going to fail at giving yourself that little something. And I'm not saying being completely selfish, but you need to pay yourself first before you can start looking after others. You can't do it the other way around. Okay, so I have quite a few categories, I realize. So the first one is the same as usual, family. I'm going to write that down quickly. Car insurance. Excuse the quiet. I honestly, when it comes to things that allow me to think, I do not multitask like other women. I need to give my whole concentration and attention to whatever I'm doing. Luckily, copying and pasting doesn't really require that much, but it does help in a sense. Last month was so weird because it was, well, I'm saying last month, but the month of May was kind of weird in a sense because it was my birthday. I realized, and this is something I'm trying to get rid of, the way of thinking, is that I always tell myself that when it comes to my birthday, I'm always broke, right? And until I decided to change my mindset of it, I had always been broke, right? So a lot of people will tell you mind over matter, but you can't always. I learned the lesson through my dad, where he was always this positive person, but the way he went through his thought processes were very weird, and it kept him stuck in certain things. So one of the things that I decided that I was going to do was that while I need to work on my perspective of things, I also need to work on how I think about things and the way I do things. And so far I'm seeing results, because this year, even though I'm so suspicious about it, which is also something I'm trying to get rid of, is that when it came to my birthday, when it came to the money I received or any kind of gift that I received, I actually stretched it so much, and I was able to give myself whatever I needed. One of those things was a smartwatch. It was a Volcano. I think it's called the Core series or Chromo series. I'm so sorry if I butchered that, but it was 400 Rand, and it answers the phone. It plays music through that. You can play. You can get your basically all of your notifications on it. You can answer your phone on it. The only thing you can't do is actually reply on your phone, which I don't think is such a big thing. But it has a calculator. It has alarms. It's very efficient for me. The only downside is that it doesn't connect directly to Discovery Vitality, so I can't really monitor that well. But it does sync with Google Fit, which does sync to Vitality. The only caveat is that you need to make sure that you have your Health Connect app functioning, and you have to allow the settings for them to sync with each other. And that's how I've been monitoring my exercise and my steps during the last week. And it's been working well so far. I've actually made it through 2 weeks of achieving my Vitality Active goals. But I digress. Let's carry on with this. So I have so many things going on, and I asked my sister for permission to pay her only 1,250 Rand for this month and next month. She said 2 months would be fine, and I'm expecting some other stuff in. It will come, right? I'm trying to be positive about it, but I'm also trying to believe it 100% true. My rent is a 9250, which won't change until the end of this year. My electricity, I budgeted 950. But my landlord messaged me this morning and told me the actual price of my electricity, and it's much higher than that. But for purposes of this video, and when I did it, this is how much I did budget for it. My car insurance, I actually moved because Discovery, if you ever come across this video, sometimes you are more interested in making money than helping your clients. And while I understand that's good for every company, I'm starting to hate you a little bit when it comes to insurance and medical aid. So I've changed my car insurance to Pineapple, and this has quite a high excess, but for now, this has been the lowest premium I can get. And if I do less than 300 kilometers a month, I actually get 30% back off this, which I'm really happy about. And if I don't have petrol to go to work to fill in my car, then obviously I'm not going to do 300 kilometers. And I live close by work. So when I got the insurance, they asked me if, in order to collect information to verify the distance that I do for the month, they have a device that they installed through Tracker. They pay for this, but when they called me, they informed me about a policy that they have that's in conjunction with this, that if something happens to the car, they'll pay you like 10,000 Rand, which would essentially cover my access. So honestly, I don't mind. My rates, I got a notice via email recently for my rates account. And while I do expect to pay it back within the next 2 months, I don't want to not pay anything. And this is the reason I asked my sis to reduce this amount for the next 2 months. And I expect to pay 1,500 Rand for that. The 250 Rand that I contribute to the Stokvel, that's for the month of June. My debt for empath, and that's pathology, I'm going to pay 50 Rand towards that. If you're in South Africa and you're listening to this, if someone comes to you and tells you that you are obligated to pay whatever outstanding amount that you're doing, firstly, go and look up and get your information on prescribed debt in South Africa. And the other thing is, you are not obligated to pay any more than you are able to. So if, let's say, empath comes to you, or your doctor comes to you and say, you need to pay us this immediately, you can say, no, I do not have this amount, but I do have 50 Rand a month, and I can pay that to you until the payment is done. And honestly, up until my debt review, I did not have an issue with saying that. And it's illegal for them to actually force you to do this, because they're putting your livelihood at stake. And this is something that you can't help. If you get sick and you have to go for blood tests, you can't help it unless you go to a hardcore government facility that's where the National Health something does your blood tests, which is very rarely. I started paying off my car, so I'm budgeting my car repair, so I'm budgeting 250 for that. The debt review amount that gets taken off doesn't change. Luckily, I monitor this, right? If you have a legitimate company that's helping you with your debt review, when you pay this out, the majority of this money, and I mean like 98% of this money, should actually be going to your debt, nothing else, right? My fees that are included in this for the debt review company is only about 700 Rand. The rest of this actually goes towards my debt. So please be careful if you do this. Pay attention, go look at your statements all of the time. My retirement annuity, that's going to also come off, doesn't change. My fiber went up a little bit this month. I'm not sure what happened, But honestly, I don't have the energy to go and find out at the moment. And this is from the amount that I get on the statement that comes through towards the middle of the month. My phone doesn't change. The fees, I always budget 200 Rand, but it sometimes comes a little bit more, sometimes less. It kind of balances out throughout the year. So because my debit order for my life insurance actually bounced last month, I managed to pay off only a portion of it, and I made an arrangement to pay that balance off over the next 3 months. So in total for the next 3 months, I'm budgeting 1,200 Rand. My will policy doesn't change. I'm leaving that at 140. Sorry, that was my phone. YouTube gave me a notification that their fees are going higher, and that's going to be 150 Rand. My entire family uses YouTube Premium, and I have the family subscription, so don't worry about that. So this is not that much, and my sister shares the My Family Cinema with me, so we kind of also balance this out. If I calculate it, I only pay like a few. I only pay maybe like 30 Rand. The online amount is, I'm still budgeting 110 Rand, but this did not go up last month. And my gym is 200, and I'm budgeting a little bit extra, which is 276. And this comes to a total of 27,052 Rand 50. Okay. So I know my 9 to 5 doesn't pay this much, but I'm making a plan, and compared to last month, this is a very, very decent amount. It's only I would say about 2,000 Rand extra from last month, which is better because last month was, I think, like 5,000 Rand extra that I had to accommodate for. So we'll see. Okay. But thank you very much for joining. I really appreciate the support. If you have any tips, tricks, suggestions, please let me know. I promise you these people are inconsistent. I will answer them when I get to. If you have any suggestions, please let me know, and I will try and go through them and see if I can implement them in my life, because I'm honestly looking for any kind of motivation, and I'm willing to learn. So you don't know what you don't know, right? But if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. I really, really appreciate the support and any kind of feedback that you would give. But please be kind. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Where necessary only, honestly. Have a lovely week. Goodbye for now.